Around here, we just had 4th of July.
Right. America.
Yeah, yeah. Did you do anything special?
Yeah, yeah. Normal 4th of July stuff. We drank a lot. We blew a bunch of stuff up.
Oh, okay.
We hung out outside.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's how you celebrate the 4th of July.
Okay, yeah.
And we're recording.
All right. Hey, how's it going today?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm pretty good. So, around here, we just had 4th of July.
Right. America.
Yeah, yeah. Did you do anything special?
Yeah, yeah. Normal 4th of July stuff. We drank a lot. We blew a bunch of stuff up.
Oh, okay.
We hung out outside.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's how you celebrate the 4th of July.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, same thing. Got a bunch of fireworks. Probably spent like $7,000.
Fireworks are expensive. Now, when I say we blew a bunch of stuff up, we didn't actually do that. We watched other people do it.
Yeah, yeah.
At this point, I don't have kids. I mean, occasionally I'll shoot a bottle rocket off or whatever, but I'm not really into.
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch the neighbors who have kids and are like, "Hey, kids, watch these fountains." Or I guess now it's more like like artillery shell kind of things.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys did?
We didn't go see any shows. We just kind of hung out. Kids had some sparklers.
Okay.
And
just at the house.
Yeah, just at the house. But yeah, a bunch of our neighbors. We heard it all night. So it was,
Yeah, you know what? When I was a kid here, because I'm around a lake in Western Michigan, I remember coming up here for the 4th of July, and it would be like an all-night event. Like it would sound like a war zone, just constantly stuff exploding. And nowadays, I don't know what's going on, but generally by midnight, people cut it out. And I'm kind of like, wow.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Because when I lived in Chicago, that crap would go the whole night.
Yeah.
And I would just think, okay.
Yeah.
But like maybe at 3 a.m, maybe what are we doing?
I don't know, man. People, they buy so much and
they're expensive now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So did you do any aerial things?
No, we didn't. I usually will go see fireworks, like, somewhere downtown, but, didn't buy any of my own. And, like I said, it was just kind of just a laid back.
Oh, wait, you didn't buy any of your own?
No, just some, just sparklers for the kids.
Oh, okay.
But
now, what kind of sparklers do you get? Do you get the ones I remember from like when we were kids? They're like silver. Mm-hmm. They're a pain to light, and they do just sparkle. But now there's the newer ones where it's like that paper stick thing you hold, and it's kind of like a fountain you hold on to because it changes.
Oh, no, not that kind. No.
You just got the sparkler.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you just light that with a lighter?
Yep, yeah. And then, kids enjoy it for whatever, 3 minutes maybe it goes.
Yeah.
And then
you got a hot stick you got to take care of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out as an adult, I saw some kids, one of the neighbors, this was years ago, they were trying to light one, and you kind of have to hold it in your hand, and then you hold the lighter to block the wind, and it has to, you got to give it a minute or whatever. And I was like, "Hey guys, you want some help with that?" And they're like, "Yeah, what are you thinking?" And I go, "Well, I got a little propane torch in the garage." And they're like, "Oh, that would work so quick." And instead of them screwing around and holding it there for what feels like a minute, I was like, "Here, hand it to me." And I go, right away, just hand it to the kid. And then they gave me another one, and I had them all going within a couple minutes.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the trick. You got to use not a full on like blowtorch. I'm talking just like a little handheld propane.
Yeah.
I think mine has MAP gas in it or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen a couple videos online where, people get their house caught on fire.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing like full on like redneck stuff around. I mean, okay, the blowtorch is a little rednecky, but you know what? I also so I had my parents over, and we watched the fireworks from my yard. There's a professional display that goes on here every year. And we did have a fire, and I will tell you the way I start the fire is with the blowtorch.
Oh, yeah.
Because to be honest,
it's pretty efficient.
Yeah, you can put paper and stuff in there, but if you just hold a blowtorch there for like 30 seconds, and then you move to another side and do it for 30 seconds, the wood is on fire.
Yeah.
It works really, really
Nice.
well.
Nice. I should try that.
It's great, and I got it at like Home Depot for I think I want to say years ago, like $20 or something.
Yeah. So I started talking about this because like we have a lot of holidays in this country. Maybe I didn't research holidays like around the world, but I know we have a lot.
We've got a decent amount. No, wait, are you saying that we have more than other countries?
I don't know. It feels like it.
I mean, I kind of feel like we might be in the middle of the pack.
Oh yeah.
We probably should have looked that up ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Let me see how we compare. I'm just going to Google that really quick.
Okay. Yeah, because it feels like we have multiple holiday. Well, okay, so I guess there is a difference because we have some federal.
Sure, federal holidays. Yeah.
I can't think of the term.
I got where you were going.
Yeah. And then we have other holidays that are maybe not like federally recognized, but known to people, like things like Valentine's Day. So you don't get that day off of work, but everybody knows when it's Valentine's Day. And but then other than that, we have like a lot of small holidays that are novelty.
You know what? I just looked up some stats here. I just want to interrupt you for a second. So the story I'm reading is the 10 countries with the least paid vacation days, which, by the way, in the United States, when we have a federal holiday, it is a day off.
Right.
It all depends on how your job works, whether you're going to be paid for it or not. But you normally aren't. Normally, most places are closed on these days. Now, there's exceptions like gas stations and stores and things like that. Yeah, they generally are open. But number one with the least paid vacation days, so I'm kind of translating that into holidays, is Micronesia.
Okay.
And what do you think number two is?
The U.S.?
The U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're not faring very well at all. It lists 10 days for the United States. Mm-hmm. And the 10th one on the list, so we started from the least and going to the most, 17 days, which is Nigeria.
Wow.
The Philippines also has 17 days. So does Lebanon.
Huh.
China only has 16 days. And we're behind China.
Yeah, and we have 10?
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wow.
So maybe your statement of we have all of these holidays is like the exact opposite.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Maybe we should take some of those novelty holidays and make those.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like the United Kingdom's got the most at 37 days.
Wow.
That is more than a month. And France has got 36, and so does Spain. Germany's got 33. This is all CNBC.com stuff I'm reading here. Okay. So,
yeah, good
grain of salt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, well, listen, I was bringing up the 4th of July because obviously, like I said, we just talked about it, just passed.
Yep.
But a couple interesting things. So, did you know that July 2nd was the actual day of independence?
Well, no, wait a second here. First of all, when you first said this to me, which was not just a second ago, because we talked about it off camera, there is stuff that happened on the 2nd.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is the 2nd and the 4th.
Yeah, okay. But technically it's the 2nd. Like it's the 2nd is when the action happened.
Well, no, wait a second. Okay, so there's the Lee resolution that happened on the 2nd, where basically Congress said, we're independent.
Yeah.
But they were just like passing a motion.
Mm-hmm.
But the signing of the Declaration of Independence happened on the 4th.
Okay.
Which is the day we celebrate.
Yeah.
But you are right. We did stand up and go, we're independent on the 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be July 2nd. Should be July 2nd.
Yeah. I can see an argument for that because technically, I guess we were independent. I made a joke off camera. Like it almost feels like when you quit a job and you go, I quit. And then your boss goes, okay, can you go back to your desk and give me that in writing?
Yeah, exactly.
It was like they needed 2 days to go. Yeah. Here you go, Britain. Yeah. It's now in writing.
Yeah. Okay, so do you know who else thinks that July 2nd should be the actual day?
No, who?
John Adams.
Okay.
Listen, when I was doing some research, I saw that John Adams would not celebrate the Independence Day on the 4th of July.
Oh, he celebrated it 2 days early?
Yep.
Okay.
He didn't recognize the 4th.
Well, I mean, I can see the argument because they said we're independent on the second, which I didn't know about before you brought up. Which is one of the things I like about doing this podcast. We're like researching some things and learning some things as we go, which is fun.
Yeah. So and then here's another interesting thing. So John Adams and Thomas Jefferson both died on July 4th, 1826.
Wait, they died the exact same day?
Exact same day.
The same year?
Same year. And then on the 50th anniversary.
Wait, Adams and who?
And Thomas Jefferson.
Wait, were they together?
No.
Okay, it's not like they didn't die in an accident or something.
No.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
And then on the 50th anniversary of the country's independence, or that's the day that they died. And then James Monroe died 5 years later, also on July 4th.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I would understand nowadays when everyone's getting into fireworks accidents every year.
Yeah, but maybe that's what happened.
I mean, that's all we hear about. We hear about the day after, all the aftermath.
Right.
It's sort of like Halloween, how we hear about all the scare tactics about candy. I'm sorry, my head just flipped to. I was just making a comment that every year we talk about all the fireworks accidents that have happened, but then I realized what exactly I heard after this 4th of July, and it was pretty terrible. There was 20 some shootings.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one.
Mass shootings.
Yeah, and you know, and I think to double on
I don't want to derail this conversation.
No,
but what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I don't know, but to double on that too, like you were just saying, is that there are so many firework accidents that happen. Like, you know, it seems like it's just getting more and more because people are just getting, you know, really bold and reckless with the fireworks.
Yeah, I see a lot of stuff on TikTok where people are making their own or whatever, and then they're shooting them off in the street in like a neighborhood, and I'm thinking, that's a bit much.
Right. Or they're getting some giant, giant cannon and lighting it off in the house or something insane.
Yeah, that feels a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Maybe to take a little different turn so it's not so dark and depressing. Do you know another major thing that happens on the 4th of July?
Hot dog eating contest?
Yes. I'm so glad you got it.
You know what? I didn't even look it up. Who won this year?
I think it was Joey Chestnut. Which I think he's been, you know.
Wait, I did see that because Barstool talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I never get to see it. I always, you know, end up hearing or remembering about it like later in the day, and the event's pretty much over at the time. Most of the time I end up having work or something, or, you know, something else going on.
Yeah, it was Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I've got to say, he's one of my favorite. And I would say the other one is Kobayashi. When I was younger, I just remember at some point somebody turned the TV on and we see the Nathan's hot dog eating. It's still Nathan's, right? Okay. And I just remember like rooting for Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Also, I learned years later in like a documentary that he has some like abnormality or something. I think his like stomach is slightly turned or something, so he can because he does other eating contests, and these guys just back it away.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? Sorry, another tangent here. I've been watching on YouTube. Beard Meets Food.
No, never seen it.
It is insane, and like most of these professional eaters, I guess is the correct term. This is another skinny guy.
Yeah,
and he will go to places that'll have like, you know, some type of contest where it's like try to eat 20 hamburgers or whatever, and then they're like, no one's ever been able to do it. On his YouTube channel, I think he's failed like 4 times, but that's like out of hundreds. And he shows up and they're like, oh no, you got to eat like, you know, 40 pieces of pie or something. And they're like, there's no way you're going to make it.
Is it places that have like, you know, some ginormous burger and they're like, you got to eat this and then you get your name on the wall or something?
Yeah, and normally a t-shirt. And this guy just puts it away. Generally no silverware, just goes into it with his hands. I've seen like massive sandwiches these guys have taken down. Also, who's the other Molly? Well, she won the thing we were talking about the other day, the Wing Bowl. Oh,
yeah. That's right.
Yeah, what is her name? I think it's now I'm gonna slaughter this because I'm terrible with names. It's Schuyler? Schuler? Schuyler.
I think that's.
Yeah, I mean that's her, but I mean I don't know how do you say her name?
Sorry, spell that one more time.
Schuyer.
Yeah, it sounds like Schuler.
Okay.
Schuyler.
But she, I've seen her YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
She's another skinny, competitive eater
Yeah.
that you just think, no way. And then you watch her go to town. You're like, holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
Didn't we figure out that she had 500 and some wings
Oh,
in
is it-
Wing Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're nuts.
All right. I'm taking away from your 4th of July celebration over here.
Yeah. So yeah. Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Yeah. Another just added on to the day.
Good 4th of July.
Yeah. 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 Hopefully next year I can actually watch it on TV.
Nice.
Yeah. Would you ever be in? You think you could ever compete, or would you ever do it even if you didn't think you would win? Like,
No.
would you ever try?
No. I mean, I can eat past when I'm full,
Yeah.
and I can eat to feeling pain.
Yeah.
But like my top number, okay, like I've sat down before and killed like 20 wings,
Yeah.
which is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, oh,
Yeah.
now I'm going to go have a drink
Yeah.
and just hang out.
Yeah.
But I think if I pushed myself and just ate until I felt like I couldn't take it anymore, I could probably get to like 60,
Oh yeah.
which
still a
which I
lot.
think would hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be.
But these people do like
Yeah,
500.
that's crazy.
There is no way
Yeah,
I'm going to get anywhere near
Yeah.
any of them.
You know, the thing about the hot dog eating contest too is like, don't they have to eat the bread?
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
dip it in the
Is it
water and
water?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another thing from Beer Meets Food. He's always talking about like, can I get sauces with this? Like,
Yeah.
like if they have any type of dipping sauce or anything, he just needs like the lubricant to get it
Yeah.
all down
Yeah.
his throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as long as we're talking about U.S. holidays, I don't even know how to start this. So Juneteenth, we all know what that is now,
Right.
but just a couple years ago, I didn't know what that was. And you know, the way our society works, I was thinking, is this just me?
Yeah.
But then I kind of asked around and other people didn't know what it was either.
Right.
Now, for people outside the country, Juneteenth is actually, it's June 19th, right?
Correct.
Every year.
Yep.
It's not like a second Monday or any of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
Because we have quite a few holidays that are like that.
Yeah. But it's the 19th, and it's to celebrate. So when the Civil War ended, it at the end of the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, which outlawed slavery.
Right.
But then there was a further 2 years while Texas kind of ignored that. And then finally the Union troops got down there and was like, okay, enough's enough. It stops.
Right.
And it stopped on June 19th.
Well, that was, yeah. So Emancipation Proclamation was signed, which basically like freed all the slaves.
Right, which
Like
was
you said.
1863.
Right. But yeah, it took like,
And then 1865.
yeah, is when Texans found out.
Well,
like
wait
when,
a second. Do you think that they just didn't
Well,
know?
well,
I think they just ignored it.
yeah. I'm sure.
Texas does Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right about that. Like they, like got down there.
But either
were like-
way, that's what it means.
Yes,
and
right.
and I'm glad that it's a federal holiday. I think that's something that we should be celebrating.
Right.
But at the same time, I didn't really hear about it until it became like a push
Right.
to become a federal holiday. Do you feel the same way, or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because it's been around. Like it's not something that's brand new. You know, like it's just been around. It just hasn't been recognized. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people who, knew. Like I didn't know until I don't even remember how old I was, but it was a lady at work, an older lady who mentioned it to me, and I can't remember the whole context, but I think it probably was around that time, and she said like, Happy Juneteenth or something, and I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what that is.
Well, let me ask you this, because I thought when I found out about it, I had asked some of my black friends, is this just like something in the black community that maybe I'm not privy to because I'm not in that community?
Yeah.
And they kind of alluded to that. You said that you didn't hear about it for a while. So is it a big thing
Obviously not. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, it could. I'm sure that like I wasn't the only one who didn't know because
Sure.
So I mean, there's
I
probably
didn't mean to
people.
put you on the spot as like
No,
the
no.
representative to all Black Americans to be like,
No. I get
yeah,
that, but no, I think that it's probably been common knowledge too.
okay,
A lot of like Black families who've like studied some Black history, but
sure.
and then I'm sure that there's people who've been out there like educating and spreading the word, but maybe not until a couple years to finally like start to stick.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It sounds like something that we should have all learned in school.
Yeah, and
It's made me make a comment about that because I felt like even if it wasn't being celebrated as a holiday, how come I didn't know that?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who think that that Juneteenth should be considered like Independence Day, since we were just talking about it. Because it was a symbol of like everyone's free.
True.
Even,
Okay, I get what you're saying there.
Even though we know like years after,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
nobody. But yeah,
No, I know what you're saying.
yeah,
Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better because I thought like, wait a second, did I miss something here? But then I would see countless people on the news or on TikTok or on YouTube,
right.
and they're just like, am I just the most ignorant person ever? How come I didn't know about this? And I'm thinking, that's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
This felt like it should come out in like 8th grade history or something, or whenever we did U.S. history. Was it 7th grade or 8th grade?
Yeah,
Somewhere in
grade,
there.
yeah. And what's crazy is that you get a lot of people now who hear about it and they throw a lot of shade. And it's just unfortunate because like it is American history.
Yeah, I don't really get their angle to that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't care what it's about,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like they're campaigning for us not to celebrate it.
Right.
And even if you don't care what it's about, you still get like a federal holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not even good enough for some people. They just, some people I feel like just want to complain.
Right. But then at the same token, like there'll be people who complain about it, but then still take that day off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you're not that offended. You're still not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, very interesting. I hope that, like in the next few years, some of that like shade and everything starts going away from it. People start learning about it and appreciating it, for the day that it is. Even though, like I said, I mean, when you look into history, it's just a sad part of history because it could have been a huge turning point, but the way things ended up going in the country, nobody was really free because there was still a lot of things going on, a lot of laws passed that, just kept people from being free and advancing.
And maybe we're just going down a rabbit hole here that we shouldn't be going down. I don't know. But we were kind of talking about Thanksgiving and how recently that has kind of, it's been more negatively represented in the current, especially in social media and things like that.
Right.
But when we were kids, I don't remember hearing any of that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe that's more of a culture of just U.S.
Well, no. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Or I was going to say, or even like our educational system, or
yeah, it could be. I mean, I feel like there's always been, like factions of people who are not historians, but they really dig deep into history.
Oh, I thought you were going to say who are not historians, but yet have opinions.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah, yeah. So there's always like a different element of truth or history that's coming out. So a lot of people are like, I don't understand why you're celebrating that day because it's not what you think it is.
Well, because like when I was a kid, what we'd hear is, the Pilgrims were having trouble, and it was going to be a hard winter, and the Native Americans helped them out, and then they all had dinner together.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, as an adult, that doesn't sound like the way I've heard history portrayed. So it doesn't shock me that that's not exactly what we're talking about anymore.
Right.
But is that a similar story that you heard when you were a kid?
Yeah, pretty much because yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it starts. Is it was just gonna be a hard winter and no harm, no foul.
Right, because remember, as like little kids, we would dress up as pilgrims, or at that time we would call them Indians, but
Yeah.
indigenous people. Like a kid, we do like the hand trace,
yep,
and
yeah.
it would make the
It was
turkey.
Yeah.
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 And then there was always somebody would make like the cornucopia thing.
Oh, yeah.
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 I mean, we do that at school. At home, we would not.
Right.
Yeah, we would just put the food on the table like normal people.
Yeah. And and what's crazy now is that not crazy, but now a lot of people, even though there is, still the holiday of Thanksgiving, people will just make it a day about like family or being together and not really say like Happy Thanksgiving. It's just, a day a federal recognized holiday. So we're just going to get together with family and, enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, well, that's how I always took it anyways. Like, it was just a day to give thanks to the things that you had.
Right.
Or we had, I should say, as a community, and not necessarily about exactly what the first Thanksgiving was, or
Right.
But how do you look back at it now?
I don't know. I don't want to like kind of derail our conversation, but
Sure.
almost similar to Columbus Day, which I know we'll talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it right now then.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a big push to basically change Columbus Day to Indigenous People Day.
Yeah.
And I see their point. I also think this is going to tick a lot of people off. But at the same time, I see their point.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily worried about the ticking people off because I feel like no matter what,
Yeah, no matter what, I think people are going to be upset.
Yeah.
But it is kind of an odd day that we're celebrating. I mean, we're celebrating discovering somebody else's home.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I mean, it'd be one thing if nobody was here,
right.
but it was very evident that there were people here.
Yeah.
And I think even worse is if you study history, the cultural differences between the two are so great. You'll talk about or you'll hear about the sale of Manhattan. And it was because the Native Americans that lived in that area had no concept of owning land.
Right.
So when the Europeans were like, hey, we'd like to buy this from you, which sounds fair. Like, hey, you got something, I want it, let's trade.
Yeah.
But they just thought like, what's next? Are you going to like buy a cloud?
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Right.
And then once we bought it, then we're like, hey, you can't be here. And then they're like, oh, now we get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was just a completely different culture that didn't have the same concepts that the other one did.
Yeah. And one thing about history is that there's a lot of people who have a hard time with like grasping without looking at things through like a lens today, really thinking about what it was like back then, like,
And seeing both sides of it.
right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Because the story that we're kind of told in school is, that it was a innocent, peaceful type of transition, like just something that happened. Oh, hey, I just discovered this land or I'm here now and it's going to be fine. Like, it's not going to be, I'm not going to try to take over, these people's land and, move them out of here. So yeah, and there's been so much more awareness and so much more talk. Like even comedians, will throw a jab, and say like, Columbus Day is like you discovering money inside somebody's house, because they're like, hey, where'd you get that $50? Oh, I discovered it in your kitchen.
Yeah. Wait, I'm looking for Eddie Izzard. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's an actor.
Yep.
he did a HBO special years ago about the British. What would you refer to it as? The Commonwealth, or basically, if you listen to the way Eddie described it, the English went around the world and then stuck their flag in the ground and went, "We claim this in the name of Great Britain," and it's like, they did that to like India and stuff, and the Indians were like, "Hey, we're here. This is ours."
Right.
And then Eddie made the big joke of, "But do you have a flag?"
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
I'm not saying that there isn't good and bad in this. I'm trying to be careful here. There were things that did benefit this country as a whole. I don't think this country would be in the position that it's in if it wasn't for that.
Well,
but at the same time, I get the negative aspect of like discovering someone else's home. But we are a powerhouse now because of, I would say a lot of it has to do with our geography. The fact that we have all of these resources, the fact that we have two coasts, the fact that we're the size that we are, the fact that for a while, we had a huge migration to this country. We brought certain technologies and knowledge to take advantage of some of those resources. But at the same right, the people who were here didn't really have a concept, at least some of them didn't have a concept of land ownership, and didn't understand that when we decided to make deals with them, that it was probably not always in their best interest.
Yeah. And I think that one thing that probably frustrates a lot of people is that nowadays it's just going to benefit everybody if the story is just told accurately. Like, no like sugarcoating or trying to.
Yeah, I don't understand why we still wouldn't want to tell it the way it happened.
Yeah.
Because if anything, the damage is already done.
Right.
And it's not like we're going to undo some of that. Now, with that being said, though, I think that there should be acknowledgments made, and there should be, I guess, acknowledgments made. We need to be able to say, you know what, this was not handled correctly, or this was maybe done incorrectly, or maybe we should learn from our mistakes and try not to repeat them in the future. I know like a big thing was when Mount Rushmore was being created, that was a tribe's land. And then we went and we took their sacred land and we carved the faces of the people who basically took it from them. And they were like, are you, this feels like an extra slam.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Just for starters.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that this whole thing's going to come off as like, I'm tone deaf, but the reality is that it's super complicated.
It is.
And we're talking about U.S. holidays, and we should at least mention it, but we also are not going to go into just that piece for the next hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve that. I'm just saying it's a lot more complicated than the things that we've said, and there are many sides to it, and there are some atrocities involved, and you're right. We should. Why aren't we just admitting to it right now?
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a push for like, why are you trying to screw up Thanksgiving? And it's like, or Indigenous People Day, I should say. I'm sorry, we moved on.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
Yeah.
both stories need to be maybe told a little bit more than the fairy tales that I think that at least I learned when I was a kid.
Right.
And you the same, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I mean, last point on this, but I have kids who are gonna be probably learning this history soon, so it'll be interesting to see if anything's changed,
right?
Or if it's still running the same course.
And no one's saying that we need to teach like young children some of the bad things that happened.
Right.
You can say, hey, these are the good things. And then as they get older, be like, well, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
There was more pieces to that story and just add to it. I'm not saying you should tell little kids about what exactly happened, like when Europeans first came to this country.
Yeah, and I mean, I would say solely for the fact that like some young children wouldn't know how to process it, wouldn't understand like the complexities in it, so it wouldn't really do any justice to explain the whole situation at their age, right?
Correct. But at some point, sort of like how we were both a little caught off guard, like, wait, Juneteenth, why wasn't this like in 7th grade or 8th grade or whenever we did U.S. history?
Yeah.
And maybe it was, but it was just like a footnote, and that's why it didn't like latch on.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe there should have been a little bit bigger deal made about it.
Right.
And it feels like a big day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Changing subjects real quick.
Okay.
I mean, still on holidays, but you know, a lot of people would always get into a discussion about like, you know, what's your favorite holiday?
Okay.
And so jokingly, because you know there was, you know, if it was in a group setting and people are kind of going around, everybody would say like, you know, Christmas or Thanksgiving, whatever. And then I had to be the smart one in the bunch, and I would be like, it's a Labor Day, you know, and everybody would laugh because, you know, look down like, whoever celebrates Labor Day, what are you talking about? But
Labor Day is your favorite?
Well, not necessarily. I would just, you know.
Oh, okay. You just do that to screw with the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I actually looked into it, like I feel like Labor Day has its own unique history that I wonder how many people actually have looked into. So I didn't do like a huge deep dive, but it was like, have you like what is Labor Day to you? Is it just like our like not to catch you off guard, but like is it any?
No. This is the discussion we're having. This is fine. Yeah, I think personally to me, it's just been a long weekend that we get.
Yeah, right.
And it kind of celebrates like the end of summer.
Exactly,
kind of
right. Yeah, and then usually like school starts shortly after that. Like
that's right. Yeah,
right. And it actually started as a workers movement, like a workers' rights movement.
Okay.
You know, during like the Industrial Revolution, people were working, you know, like ridiculous, you know, 7 days a week, you know, like 12-hour days, terrible labor conditions. You know, it was just a push to get labor done. You know, no concern for workers, just pushing product out there. And finally, like, you know, people got fed up, you know, wanted some conditions to change. Hold on, let me see. There was like a huge strike in 1886.
Okay.
More than 300,000 workers across the country like walked off their jobs.
And was this in one industry or
in different trades?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then I believe that this kind of spread like over time, like throughout the world. You know, and we had a like international like International Workers Day, which was also, it came out to be May Day. So like our Labor Day was celebrated in May at one point, which in some countries it still is, because some countries like stay true to the actual Labor Day or May Day, International Workers Day. But in the U.S., during that time or later on, like around after World War II, the U.S. kind of like moved away from having a May Day and then created Labor Day in September.
Interesting. I mean, his name Labor Day. I know that it has something to do with labor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of signifies the end of summer.
Yeah.
And I know at least around here, it's like everyone hangs out. We all do something outside, like barbecue or something like that. And then it's kind of like, well, this could be the last weekend.
Right.
Who knows? Because sometimes it is. Sometimes like, the next weekend or the weekend after that, it's cold and you don't really want to be outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the other flip side of that would be Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of the long weekend we get to celebrate the beginning of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not to celebrate summer.
Not just that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And you know, one thing that's so I don't have anyone in my life. Well, I have some friends that have served.
Yes.
You know, I don't have anyone that's been close to me that's been killed in action.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what like Memorial Day is for.
Absolutely.
It kind of bugs me. It's bugged me for a long time that we have like Memorial Day sales, or like people say like Happy Memorial Day, because that's not the day for that.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit, and I think I'm even guilty of saying, hey, Happy Memorial Day. But you're right. You put it as it should be a more like somber day.
Right. Yeah. It's like a day of remembrance.
Yes.
You know, technically, like all the flags should be flown at half staff until like noon or a part of the day, and then raised.
Because the day to celebrate service members, it's not necessarily Memorial Day.
Right.
Memorial Day is the day to remember the fallen ones,
Right.
the ones that we've lost, the ones that have paid the ultimate price for our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But the day to really celebrate them is Veterans Day.
Right. Yeah. And we also have like Armed Forces Day.
Correct. Yeah.
So, correct.
Yeah, that's the day to say Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Because we're celebrating all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, the neighborhood we lived in, a couple of streets over, there was a cemetery, and on Memorial Day, there would be a parade, and it would end at the cemetery, and there would be a speech, and then there would be, I'm not sure if it was like there would be like some type of gun salute. I don't know if it's like 21 or whatever, but and then we'd all bow our heads in remembrance. And so the Memorial Day parade that I remember as a kid ended in the cemetery.
Oh yeah.
And that's feels right after what we just said.
Yeah.
And you're right. I shouldn't say Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day though.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, we were kind of talking about Veterans Day is celebrated all over the world, but it's not always called Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's November 11th, and in some parts of the world it's called Armistice Day, and in other parts of the world it's called Remembrance Day. But really, what we're celebrating is not just honoring, like in this country, our veterans, but the end of World War I. I remember we were talking about it, and I said, which one's Armistice Day? Because I thought that we actually called something Armistice Day, and then I thought it changed into something else.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever called it Armistice Day. Other countries did.
Yeah.
But we called it Veterans Day.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite holidays?
I don't know. When I was a kid, sure. Generic things like Christmas and Halloween for the obvious kids things.
Right.
Like I wanted gifts and I wanted candy. And then when I was in my 20s, New Year's seemed pretty good. And St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Because, in this country, it's just about getting drunk.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know. To me, I'm not actually looking forward to any day as a holiday.
Yeah.
But I do think that some of the more, let's call it honorable ones, like we were just talking about, like Memorial Day or Veterans Day, I think that there's a certain level of respect that I have.
Yeah. Okay.
Not so much as for Halloween anymore.
Yeah.
It still was awesome when I was a kid, but
Yeah.
but as an adult, I'm just like, I have to think about it as that's the day that I don't want to drive to the grocery store because on the way home, there's going to be 1,000 children outside.
Yeah.
And I would rather not be driving my car when that's happening.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I think of that. But I don't know. 4th of July is pretty fun because we sit around outside, and at least here at my house, we always have a fire. I don't think any of them mean anything to me other than just showing some respect.
Yeah.
Although I think in this country and probably a lot of other countries, it's all very commercialized.
Yeah, it is.
I know a lot of my friends and family talk about the day after Thanksgiving because that's the one day a year that they can go buy out whatever their expensive thing is.
Right.
They need a new TV or they need a whatever.
Yeah, because we always have those sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and then I mean, all of these holidays I think has sales.
Oh yeah. Obviously, like we mentioned, like a Memorial Day sale and a Labor Day sale. You know.
I think I've even seen like a Martin Luther King Day sale.
Oh yeah.
And I just think,
yeah. Yep.
that's how we're honoring him.
Yeah.
With great savings.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about all this is
It
that
feels like it cheapens it a little.
It does, and there is a huge tie-in now that we mentioned Labor Day, with like all of the commercialization of these holidays.
Yes.
Because like, I mean, everything seems to come back to like money or capitalism, and not saying anything wrong with making money, but it's just, there's most holidays aren't really genuine now because it is commercialized. It is just about like, another advertisement, another sale. What else can we do to make money on this? Actually, the solution to all this is there is a lot of novelty holidays.
Yeah.
That probably are created like for the essence of what appreciation.
Like September 19th.
Which is what's it?
Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Oh yeah, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first novelty one that I'd heard about.
Yeah.
I would say it was 20 some years ago. And I remember being at work and someone just said, "Hey, it's National Talk Like a Pirate Day."
Yeah.
And I was like, what? But there's a lot of them, aren't there?
Yeah. Did you talk like a pirate that day?
I mean, we made some jokes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the first ones. I'm always gonna remember this because I know a lot of other people made too. But I watched SpongeBob for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they had a Leif Erikson Day. and
I just saw another SpongeBob Day because I've got a list here. We've both got lists in front of us of weird days. There was another SpongeBob Day.
Yeah, and there was which actually was what's funny about that is it's on October 9th. Like some states recognize it like still as a novelty holiday, not like a day off, but yeah,
none of these are day offs.
But it's October 9th.
Yeah, or how about July 2nd, World UFO Day?
Oh, World UFO.
I didn't even know about that until this list.
Yeah,
I should have been looking up.
Yeah, listen, I thought there was one day I thought that you would definitely be into, which is March 14th.
What's March 14th?
Oh, come on. You don't know that? It's Pi Day.
Oh, wait a second. No, wait, I do know that one. And I also know...
Because it's, 3/14.
Yeah, no, I know. Or how about May the 4th?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
be with you.
Yeah, March 10th. March 10th is Mario Day because it's...
Oh, yeah, because it spells out. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What about July 18th? It's Insurance Nerd Day.
Oh, what?
That's the day that you just take out all those big pamphlets they send you after you buy insurance for anything, your car, house, whatever. And then we can all just hang out with each other and maybe read our policies over.
That's funny. Look, I see on here May 20th is Be a Millionaire Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would...
Now, I'm just wondering, how does that work like does it work like Halloween? Like where you can just go buy a costume? Do they have a kit where you can just go to the store to be a millionaire?
They should, because it's...
And what would be in that kit?
Technically, I think there should be a lot of money.
I mean, but then you'd actually be a millionaire. I was thinking that there could be maybe some information about some stocks.
Yeah,
maybe everyone can just compare their 401ks.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure that there's probably like a lotto day, but that would be good if there was like winning lotto tickets. So that would be a millionaire.
See, now some of these I just feel like they're just making them up just to make them up.
Yeah.
Like April 1st is Saint Stupid Day. Are we supposed to believe there isn't a real Saint Stupid, right?
No, I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that either. So, what was this day made for? Was this just they were just making a list on the internet and thought,
I don't know, because I'm sure you have to go through a process to make a holiday to be on this list. You know, you can't just spread the word and be like, hey, you know, April 9th is, you know, watch my awesome podcast.
But it's also, yeah, we should make one up.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder where we can submit one.
Yeah.
But April 1st is also April Fool's.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So you think that this is maybe an April Fool's joke?
Probably. That's a good one. That's like next level April Fool's joke right there.
I always liked there was a website they used to look at a lot, which was called ThinkGeek, where you could buy like all kinds of crazy like nerdy toys.
Yeah.
And every year they do a April Fool's joke, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
They would have an entire page full of fake items with just like bullshit descriptions.
Yeah.
And it would be things like, I remember this was like 20 years ago. A bunch of idiots were pointing laser pointers at airplanes. And so on ThinkGeek, there was a USB airplane laser pointing device. and in the description, it just said, you can take it outside with your laptop, set it up within minutes. And then it's in an easy carrying case so that you can run from the police. And I'm just like, what the hell? And then people would like get upset about these things. And it's like, if you clicked on any of them, it said, dude, April 1st, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It was the best.
That's awesome. That's funny. Yeah. There's so many. It's like, you know, multiple novelty holidays a day.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. Evidently March 7th is Sock Monkey Day.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Like,
So it's a day to get the googly eyes out and entertain your kids.
Yeah.
Look at how lame Dad is, kids.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they would say.
Dad, stop. We're trying to look at our tablets.
Wait, is that a personal attack?
I have no idea. I'm just imagining that's how the conversation would go.
Yeah. Listen, July 4th is also Sidewalk Egg Frying Day. You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that. Which, gross.
Yeah, you what? You wouldn't try?
Are you going to eat it after you get all the dirty, oily sidewalk crap all over it?
Yeah, maybe like polish it first. Then,
Maybe throw the pan on the sidewalk and cook it on the pan?
I don't know, because I don't know if heat's going to work that way. I mean, it can't be concrete because concrete's probably not going to get hot enough, but you got to use some like blacktop.
I guess. You know, what I like is February 18th, Thumb Appreciation Day.
Yeah, they appreciate your thumbs.
Hey, can your thumb do this?
No, that's creepy.
Does it bend to the side? All right. Well, you got any more?
No. There's too many to keep going. Like,
Oh, you know what? I found it. It's February 15th. It's a Noise Squidward Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been looking for that ever since I said that.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
All right. So you guys should definitely let us know in the comments if we named your day your arbitrary for fun only weird holidays, or if we completely missed it.
Oh yeah. And if you've got any holidays that you really like to enjoy, any novelties, let us know in the comments.
Because there's hundreds here, and we know we haven't. What did we list? 10?
Yeah, maybe 10. We didn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know, guys. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
See you.